Alrighty, hello and welcome back to another LSBA video. We're back after our mid-season break week, which was last week, the week prior to when those videos getting posted, and so we will be moving into week 6 of the season, and from here on out there will be no more breaks until we end on week 9. So just as a recap, this week we're fighting the Wenatchee Wobbuffets with Coach Jack, and as always I will be linking his channel as well as Rasha's channel, the coach of the Potown Poepoles, in the description below. He's one of the other content creators in the league, so definitely go and check his videos out as well. So we are going into this week at a 4-1 record. Let me just pull up the standings really quick. So yeah, we are 4-1 and 13 differential, and our opponent is 3-2 and -1 differential. So even though his differential is a lot worse than ours, he only has one less win than ours, so he's definitely a playoff contender. So we can't afford to take this match lightly. So just to recap, our team this week, we actually made our first main season trade, which was to trade Regieleki for Circuitry. And that is indeed one of the Pokemon that we are using this week, as you'll see down here. Just quickly why I made that differentiation, or made that trade rather. The main reason, I was looking at Circuitry during the initial draft actually, and so it was in my mind the entire season. The reason that I went with Regieleki is because I wanted a rapid spin option. But I've just found Regieleki too hard to bring to matches this season with its really poor type coverage, move type coverage rather. And so on weeks where I've been needing hazard removal, I've been opting to bring Ribombee most of the time since it has some additional utility. And like, Regieleki is definitely not a bad mon. It can do things like set up dual screens really fast, which on certain teams could be really good. And that's one of the Smogon recommended sets as well. But like, my team just doesn't need dual screens that much this year, or my roster overall. So I've decided to trade it for a similar electric type. It's a lot slower, but it's more powerful, and it has better move coverage, basically. So I'm hoping I'll be able to get some better use out of Circuitry. And who knows, there's one more, like this week and next week is last week to make trades, so I might try and figure out somewhere to slot in a Rapid Spinner, but I'm not sure. I don't think we really need it that badly. So anyways, our roster now is Dragapult, Tapu Lele, Weavile, Mega Medicham, Zapdos, Galarian, Ribombee, Nidoking, Incineroar, Azelf, Xurkitree, and Milotic. And our opponent has Greninja, Gliscor, Rotom Heat, Empoleon, Appleton, Galvantula, Victini, Zarude, I don't know how to pronounce it, Doublade, Florges, and Mega Beedrill. So I'm running a little bit late, so we're gonna try and fly through the team description here. I was also late to build the team, so this just got thrown together in the last like hour and a half. So there's not too much to go over. Zapdos was the first member that I chose. It just seems to have really good coverage against a lot of my opponent's team. There are multiple mons that are weak to flying in particular, but fighting also has pretty decent coverage against some things, such as Zarude, Greninja, etc. I'm going with the Choice Scarf to try and outspeed things and be a revenge killer this time. Just because most of my opponent's team is kind of slow. But the few fast things that my opponent does have, and like Greninja and Mega Beedrill for example, I want to try and outspeed those if possible. And the Choice Scarf also has the potential to speed tie with a Choice Scarf Victini, so even though it's a coin flip that we'd rather not do, if it comes down to it, we'll try and do that. It's a pretty basic set this time. We're running Throat Chop this week over Thunderous Kick for the ability to hit, mostly Doublade effectively, but Throat Chop also is like technically a Victini option as well. I don't anticipate using it, but if it comes down to it we can. And then double stabs and U-turn just for pivoting. Simple stuff. I decided to go with Sticky Web this week over Stealth Rocks, even though I think Stealth Rock is pretty good against this team, especially with like Beedrill, doesn't like Stealth Rocks, Victini if it's not heavy duty boots, and there are just a few mons that get chunked pretty good by it. But a lot of my strategy is contingent on being faster than the opponent this week, and so I think Sticky Webs makes a lot of sense to try and slow down Greninja and make a Beedrill in particular. So we're going with Sticky. I'm not necessarily going to lead Ribombee though. It might, but we're not running Focus Sash. We're We have defog on his utility as well, in case my opponent sets up rocks against us. Heavy duty boots for that scenario too. So I don't know when we'll send Rabombi out, but it's here for webbing and defogging mostly. U-turn for momentum, bug buzz. Between the two stabs, I think the bug hits things a little better than fairy does, just overall in my opinion. And we'll see some other random bug coverage sprinkled through on like circuitry later too. Over fairy coverage. I'm running Signal Beam over Dazzling Gleam. So let's just go to circuitry. This was the final selection for the team. I don't know if it's the right choice, but I just had to make a decision and decided to take my new toy for a test spin. So we're gonna go straight into attempting a blunder policy sweep this week. I don't know if it'll be successful, but we're gonna go for it. For those who are unaware, the strat here is to go for Hypnosis, and so best case scenario, you get the Hypnosis and you have something falling asleep, which you can use for momentum. But worst case scenario, quote unquote worst, is that the Hypnosis misses and then you get the Blunder Policy boost, which is +2 to speed. And then we can try and like speed sweep things too. Beast Boost is really fun. It's effectively works like a Moxie, but for special attack on circuitry. So again, I don't know how well we'll be able to use it, but it was between this and Dragapult on this team comp, and as a split-second decision, I decided, you know, heck with it, let's take our new toy for a spin. One interesting thing, so we have Thunderbolt as our stab, obviously. I went with Hidden Power Water over Ice, because I was initially thinking Ice for Glow Score, right? But then I realized that on this team, Circuitry can't really hit Rotom Heat with anything. And so I'm using Water as a compromise. It still hits Glass Score pretty good, but it also chunks Rotom Heat pretty well as well. And Signal Beam is basically just our answer for like Appleton mostly, but it also just destroys Zarude with its quad bug weakness, so that's all Gucci. We're not running a pivot on this mon this week. We already have 3 pivoters, so that should be plenty, I would think. Incineroar is our bulky boy, but we're running him offensively too. So he's got Intimidate, he's got Parting Shot, so he's got some like attack lowering utility going on, but we also are running max attack, leftovers to mitigate Flare Blitz recoil, Fake Out. Fake Out I'm running on both Weavile and Incineroar this week, just because Greninja and Beedrill are the only things that are super big threats, I think. As far as like just completely thwarting my plan, so if we can just like fake them out and kill them, that'd be great. Knockoff obviously, Flare Blitz obviously, lefties for Flare Blitz. Yeah. Nidoking is another mon that I'm not so sure about. It's been doing so well this season, I think it'll be fine, but I don't know. Again, I should have put more forethought into this this matchup, but I didn't, so we're just kinda going with like good stuffs, what can hit lots of things effectively. Sludge Wave is great for Florges in this matchup, as well as things like Appleton. Ice Beam is for the Glide Score. Flamethrower is a throwaway move. It potentially hits a lot of things super effectively, but I don't need it to hit any of those things, so this is just kind of like a safe option. Like if I'm expecting a switch but don't know what is going to switch in, Flamethrower hits a lot of things on the team, either super effectively or neutrally. Then Earth Power is good stab, it hits a lot of things super effectively as well. And last but certainly not least, we're running a Life Orb Weavile this week. Similar set to usual. I think I ran this exact set. I can't remember who it was against, but the Fake Out Ice Shard just for priority management of speedy targets. So Weavile is faster than regular Greninja by a couple of base points, but if my opponent is running Ash Greninja, then it becomes faster than Weavile. So I was able to run an Adamant set this week, because I can speed down to Galvantula, I think it was, is the next fastest thing, or there's something that this outspeeds. So Adamant, Life Orb, Fake Out Ice Shard, should be able to pick off a lot of things. Ice Shard is not very good against Greninja, obviously, but Fake Out Ice Shard from my calc should take out Beedrill, I think, which is nice. And yeah. So I'm not going to linger anymore. It's 9 minutes past our agreed upon battle time, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the recording here, and I will be back in a moment with the actual battle. Alrighty, so here we go with the fight. So what did our opponent bring? They have Zarude, they have Greninja, so 2 of the speedy boys. They have all the speedy boys, so I feel better about my decision to pack double Fake Out, Mega Beedrill, Doublade, and Empoleon Rotom Heat. And so I feel better about my decision to pack HP Water as well. So what do we lead here? What does my opponent lead? Rotom Heat seems like a really likely lead. Unfortunately, Nidoking's not a great option since it doesn't have rock coverage. Let me just make sure that my audio levels are fine. Yeah, they should be good. Okay, let's see. Beedrill's another potential lead. I'm just thinking if I lead something like Weavile, it does really good against Beedrill lead. It does not do very good against Rotom lead. I can Fake Out anything but Doublade. But, like, what do I switch into if I lead Weavile and Rotom leads? I guess Incineroar. Yeah, that's actually fine. Incineroar can't, Rotom can't really do much to Incineroar. My opponent has, what, 1, 2, 3 physical attackers? Yeah, so the only thing that sucks is if my opponent leads Greninja, then we're kinda just, in a really bad position if we lead Weavile. So what else can we do? We can lead Zapdos. And anything but a Scarf Greninja is okay. Ribomb's not a very good lead. How much do we really need Weavile? We kinda do for the Beedrill, right? Yeah, the Greninja's gonna be a problem. I'm not really prepared for Greninja, honestly. Okay, I'm not gonna think about it too hard. Let's just go ahead and lead the Weavile, see what my opponent wants to do. They're going to lead Beedrill, which is pretty much the best option for us. This is just an easy Fake Out. My opponent probably knows that. I wouldn't be surprised if they went into, like, Doublade, for example. Well, they don't know that, but they could ascertain that if I'm leading Weavile that I probably have a Fake Out lead. This will at least get some free chip damage on something, though. I don't know what yet, but either way, we don't want Beedrill to get a free U-turn off on us or whatever, so we're definitely not going for anything that's not Fake Out this early in the game. There's definitely a point where plays like that can make sense, but this is way too early for it. Should have filled up my water bottle before we started, and I'm like out of coffee too. Sad days, sad days. I'm actually going to step away for a moment while this turn plays out and get water, so this is a fun commentary video Easter egg. Be right back. Alrighty, we are watered up and ready to go. Looks like my opponent stayed in to take it, which is fantastic for us. Let me just, so I'm gonna run this damage calc. It would be responsible of me to do so, as Russia is always saying. I actually need to load my my team sets into the damage calculator. I neglected to do that, unfortunately, before the battle began. So let's go ahead and copy. Let's clear imported sets. Okay, refresh. Let's dump these in, import. Only show imported sets. Okay, so Weavile versus Beedrill. Mega Beedrill. We did how much? 43% of its HP, so that is right within pretty much the realm that we would expect. Looks like it did a little less than it should have, but either way, Ice Shard is completely safe here. There's no reason not just to go for it. Here comes the Rotom Heat. That is fun. So let's see, Rotom Heat took how much damage? From Ice Shard, it took 10%, so it does appear to be a little bit physically bulky. Let's see if we can determine how much. My Apologies for all of this weird maneuvering that I'm doing. My microphone is in kind of an unfortunate location. Okay, so it looks to be max physical defense. Okay, that's good to know. So knockoff only does like half of its HP. I say only, that's still a pretty good amount though. I'm just gonna go and do Incineroar here. I don't see a lot of reason not to. Like, I can't take electric hits too well, but I can take any fire hits that it wants to do. If it wants to try and burn me, it can't burn me. If it has toxic, that's a little unfortunate, but it's all good. Now I'm hydrated, so that is also fantastic. Okay, overheat, we can take that beautifully. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to knock off. So the two options here, right? Okay, well there are three options. I could fake out, but I don't want to reveal that just yet. I would like if it were a surprise that my Incineroar has fake out. I don't think that anybody needs to know that just yet. So knockoff will do like 40 to 47% to this thing. Parting shot's an option, because it would be pretty obvious if he swapped out into something else, but I think he might know that I'm going to do that, so we're just going to go for the knockoff. Because he's faster than me. Yeah, we're just going to go for the knockoff. Okay, he's just going to go ahead and Volt Switch, that's fine. They're giving me crap for not nicking it. People are giving me crap in the chat for not nicknaming my Pokemon, but like honestly, sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. I've always kind of been like, of the mind of like, I don't know, this is a carryover from when I was a small lad, but I never used to like to nickname my Pokemon playing through the game because I always felt like their species name just is their name, I guess. I know that most people like to nickname their Pokemon, but I don't know. And I'm like not necessarily opposed to nicknaming, but it's just not something that I feel the need to do super often, I guess. So this is too bad. Seeing that preheating is just going to go for a Volt Switch means that we could have gotten some offensive momentum on something with Parting Shot. But I'm still okay with this because nothing really wants to take a knockoff either. Let's go back to Beedrill. Like, I know that Beedrill doesn't have an item to knock off, but how much does this just do? Knockoff does like 80 to 90% to Beedrill. Yeah, Beedrill's way too frail, so that can't come in. Doubleblade doesn't want to lose its item. If either Zarude or Greninja are Scarfed, they don't want to lose their items. I feel like Empoleon is the only thing that my opponent can really go into. And that's actually really good for them, because I don't have anything that can really switch into Empoleon very well. I guess how much damage does Empoleon take from a knockoff, though? See, I am glad now that I ran max attack on my Incineroar here. Just because we need to pump out as much damage as possible, basically. And we're adamant max damage, so that's good, that's good. See, the thing here is that I'm running 1 speed IV, or not IV, 1 speed EV, so if he is minimum speed Empoleon, we could theoretically go for it and try and outspeed it, but if he's running more than 1 speed himself, then he outspeeds me. Or if he's only running 1 speed EV like I am as well, then, okay, it's just gonna go into Greninja. Choice specs. Okay, so it was a slappy boy. Okay, so that's good that it can outspeed Zapdos, at least. That is good. I'm curious about what moves Zarude gets. I'm gonna look this up really quickly. Because if Zarude can't really hurt... I'm in the wrong... I'm looking on Smogon here, I'm in the wrong generation. Okay, Zarude... what moves does this get? Dark, Grass, those can't hurt. Zapdos, it gets Rock Slide, that's neutral, not too bad. I think Zapdos is really good for Zarude. Okay, what do I do here, though? So Ribombee is 378 speed. Okay, so Ribombee does outspeed Greninja, so I don't know if I can afford to just sack Ribombee then. Okay, so what do I actually need? Zapdos is super important. Xurkitree is good if I get webs down. Ribombee is important. Weavile's only kind of important. Weavile's only kind of important. Cause like the thing is, I could go into Nidoking here, but that's just a straight up sack on Nidoking. But what can Nidoking really do? He's faster than Polion, so he can beat that up. Nidoking is also good if I get webs down, basically. It has 286 speed. So it can outspeed like basically everything with webs down, I think. Let me look at this damage calc speed dealio again. Beedrill. I think Incineroar might unfortunately be the LVP here. Did I speed Nidoking to be able to outspeed this? I did. Okay. Yeah, I kind of think that Nidoking is the LVP. I'm gonna go for a parting shot. Hydro Boom's just gonna take us out. That's fine. And maybe I should have thought about that more, but I do think that Incineroar was not going to be... I mean, Incineroar definitely could have still done stuff, but... Oh, you know, I didn't think about this, though. This is, Ash Greninja. So now Ribombee is not faster than it. Okay. I didn't think... Yeah, I was looking at Ribombee's natural speed against Greninja. Okay. So how much does Ash Greninja do to Zapdos realistically? With non-specs... non-specs Water Shuriken. So that is Specs Shuriken. What does non-specs Shuriken do? It does a lot, but not like that much. I think that we can pretty safely pick our momentum back up this way. Zapdos is at full HP. My opponent knows that if he leaves Greninja in, that it dies. So I think we're just going to go into Zapdos here. Once again, he either has to switch out and I'll get momentum, or I take a chunk of damage, but crit barring, this should be fine. Going to go ahead and skip this track. Let's see. Ideally, I would like if this album would load, but it's not loading. Okay, it's fine though. Okay, so just U-turn is the play here. My opponent will know that we're scarfed, so right here depends on whether my opponent is comfortable sacking Greninja to get damage off on Zapdos or not. Just like there are a lot of things that can come in and take the U-turn, no problem. Just the thing is, if he does that, then I get momentum. Basically. So let's think about our different plays. We do not have webs down yet, so if Zarude comes in, we have to go Ribombee, I think. If Beedrill comes in, we go Weavile. Actually, does this kill? It does not kill. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Weavile's pretty safe for Beedrill. We don't want to... Beedrill outspeeds Ribombee, so we don't want to go into that. We don't want to take a bunch of extra damage on Nidoking. Xurkitree can't deal with this, so we gotta go Weavile here. And so the thing that I'll do here, though, is we're gonna go Ice Shard, just in case my opponent switches into Doublade. I want to do some damage rather than no damage. We don't need the Fake Out, so Ice Shard it is. Okay, so Weavile's gonna take out Beedrill. See, and this is unfortunate, because this gives Greninja a chance to come back in, basically. And Greninja will basically just pick our team apart pretty well, I think. But Beedrill's too fast. There was an opportunity to bring in Ribombee there. Zarude is gonna come in. 339 speed. We technically outspeed it. So, okay, how useful is Weavile now? It's not very good against Rotom, and we have other things that can hit Rotom. It's not very good against Empoleon. It's not very good against Greninja. It can chunk Greninja, but we don't need it now that we know that it doesn't have Choice Scarf. And it's okay against Doublade, but Nidoking should be able to rock Doublade's world. I don't know if this is a bluff or not. I think at this point, though, we don't have room to make any switches, so we're just going to go for Triple Axle. 347 speed without a Choice Scarf. This can only go up to 339. We click Triple Axle here. Okay, so we have a U-turned Zarude. That's fine. It's better to know that now than to not. And again, like, we didn't have any switches that we could really realistically make there, so it's all good. So, if my opponent goes into anything that's not Greninja right now, I think we have to go into Ribombee and get our webs down. Because with webs down, we can basically manage everything, I think. Without webs down, we cannot manage anything. Because, like, so Greninja is very fast, but it's still faster, or slower than Mega Beedrill. And so, like, a lot of our mons are sped to outspeed -1 Beedrill. So, like, for example... oh, I guess we can't knock off Zarude anymore, though. Yeah, we lost both of our knockoffers. That's a little unfortunate. So how do we deal with this? It can't do anything to Zapdos, that's the thing. Zarude, I don't believe, has a moveset that can really deal with Zapdos. Let's just check it out. It's got mostly... It gets acrobatics, but it's got its Choice Scarf on, so that's only a 55 power move. It's got a lot of dark, it's got a lot of fighting, grass. I just don't think it can really murder Zapdos. It doesn't get like Thunder Punch or anything, does it? No. Okay, so here's the Rotom. Does +2 speed Circuitry outspeed Zarude at +1? Oh my gosh, should I go for the blunder policy? That's so risky, but that would be pretty funny, right? I guess the thing though is that Rotom has too much HP, so we can't really muscle through it. I am interested though. Zarude, Choice Scarf, Circuitry at +2 has 507. Yeah, we do. Okay, so that's an option too. For the mon that's in front of us, though, I think we go for the Sticky Web. With Sticky Web, Zapdos just outspeeds everything. And like, we don't really need Ribombee to fight anything else, so this feels pretty safe. Did I just get that kill? Or did I write that kill down, rather? Let me check really quick. Yeah, okay. So yeah, we go into Ribombee here. Because, like, my opponent doesn't have hazards either, seemingly, so that's good for us. We're gonna go Sticky Web. Volt Switch, that's fine. Because now, like, Greninja won't be faster than us anymore, Zarude won't be faster than us anymore, and the rest of these things aren't faster than us anyways. I don't remember why I'm the nurse avatar on this computer. That's kind of funny. Wonder if I can change that mid-battle. This is like very much not important, but... So I remember a while ago I was doing an NPC tournament with some of my friends, and I was Nurse Joy. So I think that's why, but I thought that I had already replaced the avatar since then. And again, this is very much not important, but just for funsies. Where's my Silvers, who I usually am? I think this is off to the side of where you guys can see, but I'm currently scrolling through the, there he is. Oh, it's not gonna update in real time. That's okay. So here is this thing. So unfortunately this will be our, oh, hopefully the camera didn't just bug out. Let me check that really quick. I think it did, but it's back. So this is just gonna defog us, unfortunately. So what can we do about this? This is probably where we U-turn into circuitry and try and go for the blunder policy, right? I think so. So let's U-turn. We're going into circuitry. Agility, okay. I can get behind it. This probably has, like, a ground attack then, but we're gonna go for hypnosis anyways. It's got waterfall. Oh, it killed us. Aw. Oh, that's too bad. Empoleon takes out circuitry. Oh, so that's the thing though, is that it didn't defog, so it's still only a +1 speed technically. That means that Zapdos can outspeed and probably kill it. Okay, let's see what Zapdos versus Empoleon looks like. Because he didn't remove the webs, like he could do that this turn, theoretically, but like close combat is a kill. Close combat is super a kill. But the thing here is how ballsy do we go? Because, like, here's the two options, right? We go for close combat, it's a kill. Unless he's got, like, crazy defense EVs, but that waterfall did a lot. No circuitry does have bulk, but even so. But if my opponent hard switches into Doublade, that's bad for us. But if we U-turn calling that, then that's good for us, question mark? Yeah, I think Empoleon with this much HP is probably too valuable still, right? I'm gonna U-turn. Yeah, that was the correct play. I guess the other thing that we could have done is potentially, like, Throat Chopped. I guess I should run the calc to see how much Throat Chop actually does to this thing. But at least we got some momentum here. I don't know if it was the momentum that we needed, but yeah, Throat Chop doesn't do that much. Since it still has its Eviolite on, it only does like a maximum 30%-ish. That's not very good. So if we go for ground here, my opponent switches in Rotom. Or Zarude, honestly. If we go for Sludge Wave is 2-5 hit, I think. He's got multiple steel types. That's too risky. What does Flamethrower is almost Flamethrower is a % chance to kill. Does a lot to Zarude. It'll do a good chunk to Empoleon. I think it'll even do a decent chunk to Greninja. Greninja's not that bulky. Greninja is not that bulky. It does like a third to Greninja. That's not bad, honestly. Greninja at -1, is that slower than us? It is. Okay, yeah, Flamethrower is 100% the click here. Okay, Shadow Sneak, that's fine. Catch this Flamethrower, my dude. Ooh, okay. So we got Nidoking. Takes out Doublade. See, this is a sketchy match still. I don't know if we got this for, like, the win. Oh, and I don't know what's popping up over here either. Please stop. I don't know if we can pull this around, but it's at least going to be a close and fun match. This has been a really entertaining and fun match, I think. So, oh, he's got Water Shuriken. He's got Water Shuriken. Oh, does Water Shuriken just win him the game here? That sucks. And I'm sorry if the camera keeps bugging out. I think every time it like does a back and forth connection like that, it probably freaks out. Okay, Ribombee is just not that important, especially with Water Shuriken. So here we 100% have to switch into Ribombee. Unless my opponent goes into Empoleon. Is that too big brain? Do we go Galaxy Brain here? We're behind on Mons. Zapdos can do a lot of work for us though. So I'm just thinking, like, right now, Right now, I believe my opponent's only priority is Water Shuriken. So if we switch into Ribombee here, the only problem is if he reads that and switches into Empoleon. If he did that, then Earth Power is the play. I don't think he makes that play. That's too risky, right? He's already got the advantage. We switch into Ribombee. If he calls this and goes into, yeah. I was gonna say, if my opponent called that and went into Empoleon right there, then, like, get on him. That would have been a fantastic read. Okay, so Greninja takes out Ribombee. That's fine. So Zapdos can kind of just run wild here, right? Because my opponent no longer has their Ghost type, so we can just click Close Combat for days, basically. I kind of wish I had a non-defense lowering fighting move now, though. I think we actually click U-turn here. So I'm just thinking, if we close combat, and he switches out, then we're kind of screwed. We have to U-turn here. Because then that would just be lowering our defense, and then he could come in and pick us off with the -1 defense Water Shuriken next turn. And because U-turn still kills. Oh, we got the U-turn into the 4x weakness. That didn't kill? What the hell? Zarude is too bulky. What the heck? What a jerk. Okay. This is still fun, though. This thing does a lot of damage. It's at neutral speed, which is faster than Nidoking. We can't play games, though, and switch around. We just have to go for the flamethrower here. Power Whip does not kill. Ooh, okay, that's big. Nidoking takes out Zarude. This is gonna be right down to the wire. Man. It's like it doesn't matter. Pretty much anything can come in and kill Nidoking, so it's gonna be Zapdos running at home. It can't run at home with close combat, though. Unless it can? Question mark? Here, easy decision. There's no reason not to go for Earth Power. Water Shuriken's gonna take us out. Greninja takes out Nidoking. Now it's Zapdos to run at home. Okay. So what are my options here? I cannot click Brave Bird. That won't do enough damage to either of these things. No, we literally just have to click Close Combat. There's no other option. Bruh, if the Water Shuriken doesn't kill, though... Oh, he's gonna make us, yeah. Okay, you know what? That is A-okay. I will take the 2-0. Ah, that was such a good game. Ah, man. See, those are the types of losses that still feel good. That was such a fun battle. Good game to Jack, good game to Jack. Definitely be sure to check out his replay video. I will add it to a card in the corner just because I can. Because as mentioned at the beginning of the battle, he's one of the other content creators in the league and will also be uploading a live reaction, or live commentary video rather. Alrighty, so that takes us one step further away from our near perfect season. We'd already tarnished it, but so let's see, that was a 2-0 loss. So we will be at 4-2 and plus 11 differential, which is still not bad. That still puts us towards the top of the league. We're still like second in wins now, only behind David of the Denver Disco Devs, and we have a huge differential cushion, which is fantastic. I'll stop babbling for now, though. Good game, Jack. And even though we lost here, I think that we can still pull out a playoff standing, or playoff... What's the word that I'm looking for? Playoff qualification, yes. And then just looking forward to next week. We fight the #1 seed in the league, David of the Denver Disco Daves. He has been absolutely killing it this year, so we definitely gotta watch out for that. Alrighty, anyways, thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!